Yeah, we did. Last night. We're just coming home from it now.
What changed the good party?
It was.
Right.
Oh, no, I have to.
Good to have you. We have nothing. Have a little bit of update. Just about. Present.
No, I checked.
Oh, yeah. Hopefully that doesn't come up. Jennifer's gonna be arguing with that. UPS man will get to my house at 9:40 on
Seriously?
right now in the dark world of all of this. No, they've been working that way.
He did. I said it's kind of late. They did one little loop around off the bridge. He's like, I'm like, all right, let's go back out. Let's go. I'm done.
My buddy's still having to do my son.
Oh, really?
I think I went to bed around, I don't know, 3:30 or 4.
All right, okay. I'll need an hour away.
Yeah, I think you broke.
I haven't had a single question from you for at least a week. I think you're right.
Did you have a good time?
Yeah, had a great time.
Great, wonderful. Glad to hear it.
That was like, depending on who you're watching on TV, so like Fox called Wisconsin 3 or 4, but like CNN didn't call
Jim,
it.
how was your whodunit party?
Oh, it was good. I got a picture of it. I turned out I did it.
You did it?
So it turned out I was the dad. Me and my wife on our way.
Oh my gosh, that's
She was pretty clever, and I was the police chief.
And you committed the crime?
And it turns out I committed the crime because I was
Has everybody
somebody else
signed
was
in
trying
so
to take my
far?
job, and I didn't.
Has
appreciate it.
everybody completed your survey? Everybody?
Oh, yeah.
We spread it out. It gets you exercise, adds steps to your daily count. Is anybody in here from Heron that doesn't have a remote that works? Either you guys are all really good or.
You're like 0 for 4.
Well, at least it's all on there. Surveys are done, remotes are done.
I don't think anything.
yeah, she's really nice. Yes.
4 years ago.
Oh.
You're good. 4 years ago, I crawled up in bed and
I would have thought it was when we were talking about. I think we should.
then last year, everybody, and but even everybody said, oh.
Yeah, they charge just the same amount.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's not on any of our meters.
Nope, that is charged. I'm sure they, like, just for example, say, they charge $30.
Yeah.
5 minutes still. I was trying to remember, I thought it was that. Okay.
Hey, Mark. Hey, Mark. When they put it in, something rocked over.
Can't be done. How few people What?
Someone's not ready yet. But yeah. Get up to a gigabit. Do that speed if you want. I got double bypass internet speed. I had the whole phone, internet, TV.
Not liking this.
Okay, good evening, everybody. Thanks for coming. I've got 7:01. We're gonna open up the meeting. As usual, we're gonna conduct this meeting with Robert's Rules of Orders. Comments are gonna be limited to 3 minutes per participant. You must stay on topic. And tonight's agenda is the 2017 budget. Lisa, did you put up the proper notices and proof?
Yes, I did.
Good, thank you, ma'am. Good. We have minutes to approve? Or,
I don't have any.
no,
notes for
okay,
that.
good. So we're gonna table that. Sarah, do you have a report from the treasury side?
Just the budget.
Sure.
Budget.
Good. Well, that's 4 and 5, would you please?
So what we did this year was we had this good committee and we sat and went through each account line by line. We looked at what we spent the year before, what we budgeted the year before. We talked about what changes were coming. Lisa had prepared a bunch of work in advance of different changes with utilities and whatnot. So really we went through line by line and entered in the proposed budget. We also added 2 accounts that don't have GL numbers next to them. One is, you'll see the investigation of amenity improvements for $30,000. That's to cover what we thought, just exploratory fees of getting an architect to draw up plans. Once we get the survey back, you know, so then what's the next step? Really, that's what that budget was for. And then we allocated $30,000 for the grounds committee to do their wish list of things.
have a motion to approve the budget as presented. John?
I have a question before you approve it. Legal fees. Okay, we have a meeting, a hearing on Monday. And as of right now, all of the different attorneys are requesting $62,000 to be paid by our association for the lawsuit that was lost. How is that gonna be budgeted if that's approved?
Well, I'll tell you how it works in the financial accounting,
Okay.
because I did think about that. Typically, in an audit, what happens is they send out legal confirmation letters. And once the attorney says it's probable and measurable, then you set aside a contingent liability on your balance sheet, that's how it works. So since today, we have to approve the budget, and I don't know those numbers for sure yet, right? We don't know the final outcome. I don't wanna put an estimate in the budget and collect money from homeowners that we don't know what's gonna happen yet. So
Okay.
what I can do is at the end of December, we'll see where we're at, we'll know more, right, by the end of December, and if necessary, because we're gonna have an operating surplus this year, I can put an expense in this year and put that contingent liability aside once we have more information. But right now, it doesn't seem like the right thing to do, to
Yeah,
increase our fees.
it's such a
to-
large amount of money that they're requesting.
But I'll tell you, we do have a very large operating fund. The HOA is very healthy, so I could do a set aside from the operating fund if we need to for that as well. I've talked to our audit firm about that already, just to make sure they wouldn't have any objections, so.
Yeah, I just wanna
did
make
think
sure we
about
don't
that.
get a special assessment on
No.
this.
Good. Jeff, do you wanna take a stab at that?
Well, we have a counter petition against that as far as the $60,000 goes.
Oh, I understand, I read that,
Right, so it's,
but the judge has
Oh, I'm
denied
sorry.
just about everything so
But
far.
please let him speak, and we'll recognize you.
I
One of the board members
understand,
gonna
I'm
shoot him to
talking with
speak.
him, Mr. Gordon.
Yes, but he's answering your question, go ahead.
So, I agree with her that it would be a little bit premature to set it at 60,000, at least until after the hearing and we get some issues straightened out with the judge, because it appears that, some legal procedures weren't taken, in the appropriate steps. And that's what we're gonna sort out with the judge on Monday, as
Okay.
far as the entitlement to fees. And if the entitlement to fees is granted, what those reasonable amount of fees would be.
Okay. And correct me if I'm wrong, the entitlement, the judge has already approved that.
Well, that's part of our issue, because, there was a hearing that was set for that for November. However, it already happened.
Mhm.
That wasn't supposed to occur, and that's part of our issue with this, is, this is under the business complex litigation rules,
Mhm.
and they don't necessarily follow, I don't say they necessarily follow, but they're different from the rules of civil procedure.
Right.
And the judge had already made a ruling and said hearing, so it should have been done on hearing date, not premature.
Okay. So this is all gonna be at the hearing on Monday?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Questions?
Just, I'm unaware of who you are. Are you?
My name is Jeffrey Smith, I'm Miss Englert's associate.
Do we have any unexpected expenses that you're aware of, like fines or anything that will be coming to the association within the next year, even though we have a large surplus? Will there be, and the reason why I'm asking is recently, I have just gone online, I've been looking on the, for quite a while, I have been looking for the swell and berm for North Shore, Lake Shore. And apparently there has possibly be some fines issued with some type of enforcement from South Florida Water Management Company.
That
Are
would
we
fall-
aware of,
That would fall into
Any
the same
fines?
bucket, because we're still
you still going on?
not measurable or probable, so it's still too early for me to say, okay, everybody, I'm gonna collect this money from the residents and increase your fees for something that may or may not happen. And again, we do have, our homeowners association, we've collected money year after year and not done some of the improvements we were going to do. So we kept, having a surplus and building that fund, so we're healthy.
Right,
So
and I
we'll be
understand.
able to support, I guess I'm saying I feel confident that there won't be a special assessment for that either, based on our financial position.
Okay.
But I did take that into account.
Good, so the gist of it is for 2017, we propose that the dues remain the exact same as they were in 2016. That will be 2 years without a dues increase. Is there any other questions? Hey, John, would you like to make a motion to
Make
accept
a
the
motion
budget?
that we accept the budget for 2017.
I second it. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That's 5-0, Lisa. Good.
I have one thing, I'd like to commend you as the treasurer for the job you did for the association. I appreciate that along with the finance committee, so let them know.
Thank you.
Doing very nice this year.
Yeah,
Everything went
you
very
did
well.
very well.
Thank you. Good. I appreciate the compliment. Good job. And your committee. Good. We have no other items for tonight. Everything else is tabled. There's no other questions. All I can say is thanks for coming out, and we appreciate your participation. Volunteer. Have a great night. David, did you have business?
Gee, what difference a year makes.
Having the right budget mailed out. Having the right budget mailed out helps a lot too, right?
It was a step in the right
Yeah,
direction.
good. Okay, I've got 7:10. We adjourn this
So you're
meeting.
not, I'm sorry, so you're not talking about street parking changes or CGM?
Street parking changes, we were gonna have a grounds committee meeting last night, but,
Oh,
yeah,
I'm sorry, is that why you said everything else is tabled?
Yeah, and the
Yeah,
other,
we didn't,
and
we
the-
didn't wind up, able to have a quorum last night, so we didn't get all the information.
and then the other new business, we've asked them to document it in writing, so we have a better preparation. But, you know, Rose, maybe you'll wanna address street parking. You made some comments on Facebook, you've got a little bit more legacy of information here. I think we all know from the grounds committee, from the compliance committee, that we have a danger to the community with access of emergency vehicles coming through the streets. You noted on Facebook that we can change the parking policy. Maybe you can
But what I
enlighten,
said was,
maybe you can enlighten Andrew and David.
sure, when we, I think Sanford was involved with, when we got together, 2009, when we did the street parking, we were an ad hoc
Yeah,
committee.
that sounds about right.
2009, yeah, and Paul Weems, the attorney at that time, when I was on the board, had mentioned that we have to be careful on what we do with street parking, because it's not mentioned in your document, and that may be something that, you may have to bring to the association to be able to change your documents to put it in there as street parking. Because you could possibly have somebody come down on you and say, look, it's not in there, you can't enforce it, because there's nothing in the documents that state you are allowed to enforce this. So it's on the same idea as if it's silent in the documents, then you really can't touch it. But because so many members here in the association feel the same way as the board did, and as we as being previous ad hoc committees for the street parking, we agree with the board. Nobody's saying we don't agree. But it's something that the board may wanna look into, is your documents are silent, and the attorney may be able to assist you with that, and see if anything has changed out there that you can go ahead and change that without the board, without the community's knowledge.
If I recall.
I'm sorry, we don't wanna do it without the committee's knowledge, we want to highly publicize it so
Yeah.
it's compliance.
We would
We don't
like
wanna,
that
we don't wanna
everybody
do
to
this
get
in the
involved.
dark of night.
No, right.
We've spent a year and a half, 2 years talking about parking. Lynn?
Rose, if I recall correctly, when we were talking about the documents, it fell under the safety. And there is a part in our documents about safety in the community. So there was a workaround, I believe it was Paul Woods who came back and said, you can use the safety section of the documents. So it wasn't a matter of hiding anything, it was a
Right.
matter of making sure that our documents covered.
Correct.
And he felt that the safety section covered us putting into place some parking regulations.
Well, it would if it was in there, it might be, I don't recall that, Lynn, what I do recall is when I was on the board and we discussed this with Paul, because we wanted to do the same thing.
Well, we get the attorney to
And,
give us an opinion on that.
Well,
Not necessarily tonight.
Right.
It
Depends on the CCRs.
right, if you send me the language on the CCRs that you're referring to, I'd be happy to make a recommendation, but if it's a safety issue and there is safety language, it
There
certainly
is,
could be
you
covered.
can, it could be covered under that. Paul Weems told us to be sure that we even pull in, the county and get their codes. So see if we could use that as well, and he just said, be careful. And that goes with your towing too, be careful, because of all these different laws that are out
Mr.
there.
Mullins, the chair of the safety committee, please weigh in.
It's been a while since I've looked at like the rules and laws, but I thought that when the docs were silent, that the community was allowed to make reasonable rules, as long as it doesn't go against what the doc said. So if the doc said there is allowed street parking, then you couldn't go against it unless you had a change. But if it's silent to it, I thought that you could then make rules about it.
That's a good point. Can you validate that? And Jennifer has our docs. Okay. Yeah, that's really important to us.
Yeah,
Look,
yeah,
the
it is.
the
We
gist,
all want it.
yeah, the
And
gist of this
nobody's
issue
arguing
is,
the point.
we couldn't get 51% of our residents to
I
call
know.
911 if there was a house on fire,
Yeah.
right?
True, that's true.
So,
That's true.
yet, well,
It
it
is.
is, but it's common to
Yeah.
most HOAs, right?
Yeah.
So we know what, we have a hazard. We know that there's an issue with access into the gated community. We'd be remiss if we didn't do something about it. We're not trying to be punitive, we're
Right.
trying to keep the streets from being blocked. We're trying to keep, the houses with significant amount of multiple cars, off the grass, off the sidewalk, so little children don't have to ride their bikes into the street.
I
All the
agree.
things that we all know is the right thing to do.
I agree.
We could not get a majority of the community to do this. We're not trying to do it in the dark of night. We have talked about it at compliance and at grounds committee ad nauseum. So, whatever we can do.
No, yeah.
And can you make sure that Jennifer has that prepared for the next board meeting? And Andrew, we'll try and have it in time for the next grounds meeting. And of course, David, you're gonna have to weigh in on this.
This is the third attempt.
Yeah.
They tried it in the beginning with the developer, we tried it, and now you're trying it. I hope you get it through. I hope things
Everybody knows
change.
something has to
That
happen with the parking. It's
Yeah.
terrible.
It's terrible.
We're gonna have to get something to. Super. Any other dialogue? Good.
Take the survey again, Steve.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, what are we up to now, about 400?
We're right about 400. We're right
Wow.
about-
That's
We're almost
better
at
than I thought.
40%.
It is.
Yeah.
Not even halfway there.
And that is,
And we're
and that
excited.
is
I know, that's
not
sad.
duplicates. We verified it. There are no duplicates in there.
That's awesome.
Kudos to you, because that's a lot, that's a
Yeah.
lot more participation.
That's
than I
more
think
than
Well,
we had in the
actually-
election.
And look, and by the way, kudos to grounds committee that has put in dozens of hours
Lots.
along with John to develop the survey. And I think it's well written. I like the idea that you've associated costs with the Christmas wish list. And look, the gates are already in permitting. We are gonna do these gates.
That's awesome.
That's a year and a half of work, again, led by John and the grounds committee. The next thing for us to tackle is the amenities that our residents need and want, and to keep North Shore a fantastic place to live, and provide as much reasonable services as we can, so.
Probably
That
the
was a
next thing you'll
temptation.
see after the gates is, the grounds committee is working right now on, a landscaping plan. And we hope after the gates go in to be able to redo the entryways in each community, followed by the boulevard and then the rest of the common areas to upgrade the landscaping. So that's probably one of the next big things you'll see after the.
Put it in the
the-
review.
And while
Have that.
I'll get you one second, Chuck, and while we're on compliments for great work, I gotta say the idea again from grounds committee and from Lisa, of putting these magnetic signs on the gates has been,
Yeah,
has
that's been
been
great.
absolutely brilliant. It's cheap, we're in the face of every resident at least twice a day.
It's attractive.
It's such a neat thing to do.
Yeah.
It's so creative. I've never seen it in any other community. And pass it on to Brian and the rest of your group. It was the most fantastic bare bones cost item we could have done.
I
So
like it over
elections.
the door.
Yeah.
I love it over the door. And when you walk in, you can't
Yeah, I
miss
just
it.
ordered a couple of extras so that if we had any of them disappear, we'd have some.
That's
So
a good
I've
idea.
stuck them in a couple of.
And once the
random
cameras
places.
come online, so great job,
Yeah, we
Andrew.
can find out who takes them.
Good, thanks for that brilliant suggestion. Chuck, you have one last thing?
Yeah, just a quick question. So you said you had like 400-ish people do the surveys. Have you got email addresses from most of those people?
Everybody that put on there, we requested email addresses, and most of the ones that responded have email addresses.
So do you have any idea of how many email addresses you started with when you came on board and how many we have now?
There was just over 1,000 email addresses when I came on board, and we're up to about 1,600 right now.
Great job.
But those
And
email
we
addresses
will
only.
be, sorry, when the new gates get put into your community, we will probably have 100% compliance,
Yeah.
because, your remote, you'll have to, your remote will not work until I have that information.
Good.
I have to have it to set it up.
The problem with the email address is that 1,000 only represented about 400 homes.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So now we have much
What
farther.
if you don't have an email account?
I don't know if there's anybody left that doesn't have an email account.
Well, what they'll do is, if they want the access with the smartphones, if they want the access with the smartphones, they'll have to have an email address
Oh, okay.
to do that. If they're, if
Some
they
of our
don't.
older residents who actually
Right,
don't have.
and we have a couple of workarounds for that, but that is the exception, not the rule. I would say
Right.
that's maybe 2% in
We're,
fact.
we're hoping that this next newsletter is the last one we're gonna have to physically print and mail. It really is our aspiration to make that an online edition. And save trees, save the mailing costs. Although
And then we
people
can
like to have it for
printed
reference.
copies here if
Are
somebody
you
wants them.
gonna upload the newsletter into the ABCS website?
Well, we're working on updating our website
Are you doing?
and.
Yeah, we've
you know,
got them to
Because
upgrade,
there's nothing there, so.
we've got them to upgrade
It's nice to be able to
our
download.
website, and we're in the process of trying to get it formatted. So it'll have all the information on there, and it's supposedly, from what the sample I saw, it's much easier to navigate.
It couldn't be more difficult.
Yeah.
It's pretty
Super.
difficult.
So if we have nothing else tonight, it's 7:20. I'll make, do we have a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn?
Yeah, that's all right. Thanks, Richie. You wanna second it? Second it?
There you go.
Good. Any, discussion? Thanks, everybody, for coming out tonight. Thanks for your participation. Meeting is adjourned at 7:20. Thank you all.
The best budget meeting ever.
Ever. No, we have one that was 8 minutes, the first one.
Oh, was it really?
Have a lovely dinner with your family. Andrew. Jeff. Andrew, Jeff. Andrew, Jeff.
I've got this,
Good night. See ya. Nice to know your family.
let me give you a hand.
Over-prepared, right?
See you later.
Thank you.
Lisa, where do you put these tablecloths?
Just stack them, I put them underneath the thing.